Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're tackling something big. We're not talking about just a new app for a government agency. No, we're talking about a blueprint to rebuild the entire operating system of a country. It's called the 147 Framework, and it's pretty wild. But look, before we get into all the techie stuff, we've got to start somewhere else. We need to start with a crisis, because that's where you really see the difference, right? The difference between a government that just reacts and one that's built to actually function. So, what's the big problem this whole thing is trying to fix? Well, it's this. Our government agencies are kind of like islands. They don't talk to each other very well, and they're relying on people to write reports, which, can be slow, can be wrong. And when things get really serious, like in a major crisis, that delay isn't just a headache, it can be a total disaster. Okay, let's make this super concrete. Imagine a pandemic breaks out. Now, you've got two ways this can go. Response A is probably what you're used to. People typing stuff into spreadsheets, weeks of meetings, agencies doing their own thing, not really talking. Then there's response B. This is the 147 world. It's a coordinated swarm, a machine-speed reaction that's kicked off by real-time data and pure automated logic. And you've got to understand, this isn't about just buying some new software. It's not about faster computers. The idea here is to fundamentally change the architecture of the state itself. It's about building a system where that super fast response B isn't just a nice to have, it's the default, it's automatic. And yeah, that system, that's the 147 framework. All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. The 147. What do these numbers actually mean? Well, turns out they're the blueprint, a simple, repeatable structure that you can apply to literally any government agency.
First up, the number 1. It's simple. Every agency gets one single number. Think of it like a health score or a readiness level, updated in real time. That's it. Just one number to tell you how it's doing.
Then you have 4. This is the rule book. Every institution has just 4 unbreakable rules. They call them pillars. This is basically its digital constitution. The things it can and cannot do, hard-coded. And last, we have 7. This is the fuel. Each agency is powered by 7 key resources. We're talking about things like money, staff, equipment, even data. And here's the key. They're all tokenized. All that means is they're turned into secure, measurable digital units on the system. You can track every single dollar, every piece of equipment. Okay, so here's where it all clicks together, and this is really the genius of it. That one health score, it's a live number that goes up or down based on how the agency is using its 7 resources. And it can only use those resources according to the strict rules at its 4 pillars. See? 147. It all connects. And this is a huge shift in thinking. We go from what's called a reported state, where someone has to write a report telling you what's up, to a verified state. In a verified state, you don't need a report. The status of the agency is a cryptographic fact on the blockchain. It's mathematical proof. It's transparent, it's real time, and you absolutely cannot fake it. The way this whole thing flows is what makes it so powerful. It's a bottom-up system. Your 7 resources, the fuel, the staff, the money, that's the gas in the tank. The 4 pillars, the rules, that's the engine. The engine can't do anything without burning fuel. And that one identity token, that's your dashboard. It's telling you in real time how fast you're going and exactly how much gas is left in the tank. Okay, I know this is all getting a little theoretical, right? So let's bring it back down to earth. How would this blueprint actually work for a real government agency? Let's take a look at public health. So, in this system, public health would run on what's called the Panacea Protocol. Its main identity token is, let's say, $HLTH. Now, its resources are all the things you can actually count: hospital beds, drug supplies, staff, test kits. So you could write a rule, a smart contract that says, hey, if our lab and patient data tokens show a virus is spreading like crazy, then the resilience pillar automatically unlocks the budget tokens to buy more equipment. Just like that. No meetings, no approvals, no delays. It just happens. And here's what's so cool about this. You can take that exact same 147 logic and just stamp it onto a totally different department. Think about national defense. You'd have the Aegis protocol. The identity token is DEF for defense readiness, and it's tracking real-time resources like fuel, ammo, and troop deployment to give you a live score of how ready you are. Or what about a city? You could have a Civitas protocol. Maybe you put sensors on a bridge to measure vibrations. The moment those sensors say things are getting sketchy, the system could automatically put out a contract for repairs. And get this,
the payment from the city's budget token is only released when those same sensors verify that the repair is done and the bridge is safe. No more arguments about whether the job was done right.
It could even change something like education. Imagine the Athenian protocol. Instead of a piece of paper, a diploma, you'd get a secure digital wallet that's basically a living transcript. Every single skill you learn, every project you complete, gets verified and added as a token. It's a perfect, undeniable record of what you can actually do.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, this is massive. You can't just flip a switch on a whole country. And you'd be right. So how would anyone actually pull this off without, everything falling apart? Well, the framework has a really careful step-by-step plan for it.
Yeah, this is definitely not a rip the Band-Aid off situation. It starts slowly. First, you build a digital twin, basically a simulation of the whole system. You feed it years of old data to see if it works, to prove it's accurate. Then you start installing the real hardware, the sensors. And for years, you run it in the background as a shadow ledger, just comparing it to the old way of doing things. The big switchover? That only happens way down the line, once the new system has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's rock solid.
And this is a really important point, so I want to make sure it's clear. This is not a robot government takeover. Not at all. While the daily stuff gets automated based on the rules themselves, those 4 pillars for every agency, humans still write those. They still have to be debated and approved, just like laws are today.
All right, so where is all of this going? Let's pull back and look at the big picture. What's the end game here? What's the ultimate vision for a government that runs on an OS like this?
It really comes down to one thing: getting rid of ambiguity. The goal is to make everything, the resources, the rules, the real-time status of every single government department totally transparent and mathematically provable. The hope is that if you can do that, you can literally engineer inefficiency, waste, and corruption right out of the system. Which of course leaves us with one last pretty deep question to chew on. This framework is all about creating a world of perfect, verifiable information. But think about it. If a system can mathematically prove the single most efficient way to do something, what decisions are even left for us, for humans, to make? What's our role in a world like that?